I'll start over. Good morning, everyone. My name is Britton Worth, and I'm the Chief Legal Officer here at Nikola. We're pleased to welcome you to our headquarters and to announce and celebrate the City of Phoenix's unanimous approval of its first ever Transportation Electrification Action Plan. In 2018, Nikola moved to Phoenix and helped ignite the expanding hub of innovative electric vehicle OEMs that call the Valley of the Sun home. We're proud to be headquartered here and have grown significantly since our arrival, now with over 1,000 employees. Arizona's combination of supportive economic development initiatives, access to a highly skilled workforce, and forward-looking policies to support the commercialization of new technologies has fostered a business climate that welcomes innovation. As a leading designer and manufacturer of heavy-duty fuel cell electric vehicles, battery electric vehicles, and the energy infrastructure solutions that supports those vehicles, we support the city's efforts to accelerate the transition to electric vehicles. Nikola's core mission is to lead this transition with clean vehicles and clean energy solutions. Our trucks, like the one behind me here, and our supporting energy infrastructure hold the promise of not only reducing climate emissions and related pollutants, but also hold the promise of providing better business results with improved reliability and lower maintenance costs. Earlier this year, we began serial production of the Nikola Tre BEV heavy-duty truck and completed phase 1 of our Coolidge, Arizona manufacturing facility, which provides Nikola with production capacity of up to 2,500 trucks a year. Construction of the phase 2 assembly expansion area is underway and is expected to be completed in 2023 with an increase in production capacity up to 20,000 trucks a year on 2 shifts. As Governor Ducey noted at our manufacturing facility launch event in April, quote, Nikola has become a driving force in Arizona's rapidly expanding electric vehicle industry, and it's only getting started. With the beginning of production at this manufacturing facility, Nikola is clearly in the driver's seat of the future of transportation and commerce, close quote. We at Nikola could not agree more. We understand that this is a complex transition of the entire transportation ecosystem. The vehicles themselves, the energy that powers those vehicles, the distribution of that energy, and the service and support of it all. The Transportation Electrification Action Plan recognizes this complexity and includes as a guiding principle to seek partnerships with businesses and other stakeholders. As your hometown OEM, we look forward to working with you to implement this plan through piloting and demonstration of heavy-duty vehicles and building on that plan with future updates. Lastly, let us thank Mayor Gallego and Councilmember Ansari for including us on the city's electric vehicle ad hoc committee, which was responsible for developing this plan. And we also want to thank our colleague here at Nikola, Omar Gonzalez, for representing us on that committee. Thank you again for allowing us to host this press conference and be part of your exciting movement to transition one of the largest contributors of greenhouse gas emissions to zero emission technologies. And now it is my honor to introduce our next speaker, Phoenix Mayor Kate Gallego.
Thank you, Britton, and thank you, Nikola, for hosting us. You are one of the reasons that Phoenix has been called the new Motor City, the electric Motor City. Phoenix took a big step yesterday. By a unanimous vote, we approved our EV action plan. This charts a course for us to get to 280,000 vehicles by 2030. It's an ambitious plan, and we'll have many partners on the way. Today, we celebrate Phoenix's leadership role in electric vehicles. When I created the Ad Hoc Electric Vehicle Committee 1 year ago, I asked the group to find ways to inform and accelerate the transitions towards EVs in Phoenix. I gotta say, you guys exceeded my expectations. The committee presented the council with recommendations that include everything from guiding principles to an equity plan to a 5-step EV roadmap that will help us meet the aggressive goals we've established. They've done an immense amount of work to get us where we are today. And the timing could not be better. The federal government has made significant investments in electric vehicle infrastructure. It's crucial that Phoenix be prepared to meet this moment. It's equally important to be intentional in our approach for 2 reasons. So we're not at the whim of the burgeoning EV market, and so that we can establish equity and accessibility as the foundations for this work. Our EV investments will help us address air quality challenges in our community. It'll also help us reduce our greenhouse gas emissions. Phoenix is a diverse city, and I've heard from so many people about their opinions, but no one has ever said to me, you know what, we need it to be hotter in the summer in Phoenix. So I hope that this plan and our partnership with our electricity providers can help us reduce the greenhouse gas emissions associated with transportation. I am excited about the city of Phoenix leading in so many different areas, whether it's supporting the community that will build the charging stations, or making sure that our airport is a leader in both electrifying its own fleet and making sure that you can rent an electric vehicle when you visit Sky Harbor. I want to thank the City of Phoenix staff for their work and support of the committee's work, our Deputy City Manager, Karen Peters, Mark Hartman, our Chief Sustainability Officer, Karen Apple, and the many others involved. The entire city staff came together, and we've talked about everything from code enforcement officials, driving in electric vehicles, to our facilities, to, again, the airport leading the way in sustainability. I want to thank APS and SRP for their partnership. Your net zero commitments are central to this work. Electric vehicles become cleaner as our grid becomes cleaner. Electric vehicles matter because they are literally the road to the future. We know to overcome climate change, we have to change the type of investments we make. The city will be making investments in so many areas, including light rail, our bus system. EVs are a crucial piece of that clean transportation system. But there's more than that. EVs are an important way to invest in the jobs that we want for our community, high-wage, high-quality jobs at places like Nikola, who's our host today. It will drive new business interest in Phoenix, like Carlisle Industries, manufacturer of EV components. EV adoption will drive education as we train young people for these high-wage, high-skill jobs. Phoenix continues to be an innovative city. We just last month hit another milestone, being the first city to have autonomous electric vehicles visiting Sky Harbor Airport. Airport is not an easy environment to test new technology, but Phoenix has shown that we are willing to lead the way. We couldn't do that without amazing partners, and we have a great leader on our city council on sustainability, someone who's served not only at the local level, but at the international level, leading the way on sustainability. When I formed our committee to lead on electric vehicles, it was clear there was one elected official to chair that effort, and that was Councilwoman Ansari, who has been driving this plan, putting in countless hours, meeting with stakeholders, and making sure that Phoenix is at the top of the pack. I'm so pleased to welcome Councilwoman Ansari.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you again for being here today. I'm Phoenix City Councilwoman Yasemin Ansari. This past year, thanks so much to the leadership of Mayor Kate Gallego, I have had the privilege of serving as the chair of the city's Electric Vehicle Ad Hoc Committee. In this capacity, we've held over 30 committee meetings, over a dozen community meetings, and collected over 1,300 survey responses from the public. Our committee consisted of 15 members representing a diverse array of expertise, including auto manufacturers like General Motors and Nikola, advocacy groups like Chispa, Sweep, and Moms Clean Air Force, utilities like APS and SRP, and many more. And yesterday, as was mentioned, with unanimous bipartisan support from the Phoenix City Council, we passed the city's first ever Transportation Electrification Action Plan, otherwise colloquially known as the EV Roadmap. As a former United Nations climate advisor who in a previous life worked with cities and states, companies on their climate commitments and policies, I've been so proud to take on this work at the City of Phoenix. Data shows us that transportation, and primarily gas-powered vehicles, are the leading source of greenhouse gas emissions and air pollutions in the City of Phoenix. So electrifying our transportation sector is one of the most significant actions that we can take for our climate and public health. This plan could not come at a better time. With gas prices skyrocketing because of oil industry greed and many auto manufacturers committing to phasing out gas-powered vehicles within the next decade or so, with our poor air quality making our families sick and the climate crisis threatening lives and livelihoods, it is our duty to make sure that Phoenicians have affordable and easy access to the infrastructure needed to power a clean, all-electric future. And this plan puts us on track to do exactly that. Phoenix's plan features three main focus areas: prioritizing equity, accelerating public adoption of electric vehicles, and the city leading by example. Equity is a framework that's woven throughout this plan, with guiding principles like Justice 40 that require that at least 40% of our investments be made in underserved communities. I'm particularly excited about the goal to develop and pilot a local model of e-mobility investment in an underserved community. The vision behind this is to work directly with community leaders and advocates in a particular community, build relationships with them, and work with them to develop an understanding of their neighborhood's unique mobility needs and design a pilot program to address those unique needs. Transportation isn't one size fits all, and this equity-centered goal recognizes that reality. The plan also features a robust and comprehensive education and outreach campaign to not only educate the public about EV purchasing and ownership, but also to guide home builders and developers, business owners, and employers on best practices to provide charging infrastructure and prepare for the future. Phoenix will also be leading the way by electrifying our own fleets, installing at least 500 public charging stations by 2030, and expanding our employee charging opportunities. Now, it's important that we actually implement the goals set out in this action plan, and I'm proud to say that with our 2022 to 2023 city budget, as well as with recently awarded grant funding, we are on track to do just that. In our budget, we've allocated funding for new staff positions, including a full-time electric vehicle program manager to lead implementation of this plan, a climate action plan program manager to oversee implementation of our broader sustainability initiatives, and an operations analyst within our public works department to conduct comprehensive studies that include an equitable assessment of electric vehicle charging stations, infrastructure needs, and an implementation plan for our own city vehicles. We're also bringing on a full-time AmeriCorps Vista position whose focus will be community outreach to underserved communities, specifically about electric vehicles and micromobility options. Earlier this year, City Council also unanimously, again, approved a request for proposals for up to $150 million worth of zero and low emission buses. The Phoenix City Council clearly has a strong appetite for transportation electrification, and I'm excited to continue working with my colleagues and our incredible city staff to make this plan a reality. Now, I'd like to welcome Joanna Struther, the Senior Director of Advocacy of the American Lung Association. She works at the federal, state, and local level to advance policies to improve air quality and public health. Thank you so much.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Thank you all for joining us today to celebrate the Transportation Electrification Plan. My name is Joanna Struther, and I serve as the Senior Advocacy Director for the American Lung Association. We are seeing now more than ever that climate change is a public health emergency, and Phoenix is making great progress in transportation electrification efforts to mitigate climate change impacts on our environment and our health. Our annual State of the Air report clearly demonstrates that Phoenix faces significant air quality challenges. Phoenix ranked as the 5th worst ozone polluted city in the country and 11th for particle pollution spikes. Although we've experienced fewer days of unhealthy ozone, we are seeing the highest number of unhealthy spikes in particle pollution, as well as an increase in year-round particle pollution levels. Both ozone and particle pollution can cause premature death and other serious health effects such as asthma attacks, cardiovascular damage, and developmental and reproductive harm. Particle pollution can also cause lung cancer. Many people experience breathing problems such as chest tightness, coughing, and shortness of breath, often within hours of exposure. 84% of Arizonans live in a community with failing air quality. But the burden of air pollution is especially harmful to people in our most sensitive groups, those with lung disease, children, seniors, pregnant women, and our marginalized communities. In Maricopa County, 2.1 million people of color and approximately 500,000 residents living in poverty are exposed to air pollution. The transportation sector is one of the leading contributors to unhealthy emissions, which is why we need bold investments in zero-emission technologies to clean up harmful climate pollution. The American Lung Association released a report in March called Zeroing In on Healthy Air, which found that increasing zero-emission transportation, powered by a non-combustion energy grid, could yield $15.1 billion in public health benefits. And that's just here in Arizona between now and 2050. We must act now on our climate crisis and clean up our most polluting sectors to protect the health of Arizonans, especially for communities experience the greatest impact of air pollution. We are grateful to see the City of Phoenix adopt the Transportation Electrification Plan, investing in transportation electrification efforts to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, improve air quality, and safeguard the health of all Arizonans. I will now turn it to Assistant Superintendent of District Operations at Cartwright Elementary School District, Dr. Juan Medrano. They're the true leaders in bus electrification, school bus electrification.
Thank you, Ms. Struther, and good morning, everybody. On behalf of the Cartwright Elementary School District, I would just like to thank Mayor Gallego and Councilwoman Ansari for inviting us to come and share the elementary school district perspective on bus electrification. So we have been very fortunate to, as Ms. Struther was speaking, we serve within the Maryvale community, which would be categorized as an underserved community that has borne the brunt of a lot of the poor air quality that we've been talking about this morning. And so we've been fortunate to have a governing board and superintendent that has recognized the importance of taking action to make sure that we are providing the best possible educational experience to our students that doesn't just begin at the classroom doors or the entrance to our campuses, but from the time our children walk out the doors and get ready to be transported to school, whether that's through walking, riding bikes, or getting on our buses. The quality of education that our students experience, the conditions that we create for them to arrive in our classrooms fully ready to learn and ready to perform at their best is a responsibility that we all have. So as a school district, we are fortunate right now to have been among one of the districts to have the first electric school buses in the state. And this was its first year of operation within the Cartwright Elementary School District. We've had a lot of great feedback from parents and students as well as our staff members who have reported that there are many benefits associated with our students being able to have daily rides on our electric school bus. One of those being that it is a much quieter ride, so many of our bus drivers are actually able to hear our students as they're riding to school. And also the positive impact of not inhaling the greenhouse gases as well as the tailpipe emissions that come along with riding along on a diesel school bus. That happens while during the ride to school, as well as while students are queuing at the end of the day to get onto the buses and be taken home. So we have gotten positive feedback from our parents on that, in particular children with asthma conditions, that they're not as aggravated now with being able to ride on electric school buses. And again, while on the school bus itself, just being able to breathe in cleaner air throughout the entire time of that ride. As we move forward as a school district, we are looking at options for continuing to expand our electric school bus fleet that we currently have. As I had mentioned, currently we have one, but we are planning and preparing to take advantage of the many opportunities that are coming along as a result of the bipartisan infrastructure law recently passed, where there's going to be $2.5 billion available over the next 5 years, and a series of rebate and grant opportunities to be able to expand our electric bus fleet. So for this coming round that's open this summer until August, we do plan on submitting a number of our replacement buses to be able to replace diesel buses, and this opportunity is open until August 4th, and we're also working with partners to assess what our current infrastructure capabilities are, because that's one of the challenges that we are also working with, is to upgrade old infrastructure to be able to support a larger number of buses. Also among the benefits that have been reported to us, we had the opportunities to visit Twin Rivers School District as a result of the support of Chispa, Arizona, to kind of see in action what that process has looked like, to being able to get a school bus fleet of up to about 44 electric school buses right now. So we've had that opportunity to learn what that process looks like, what types of investments need to be made in infrastructure, and the planning process, so that we can take those lessons and then apply them now within our school district. So We are at that stage of continuing to set forth those plans, work with SRP as our provider, and come up with solutions to be able to achieve the infrastructure needed to to achieve our plan of having a larger fleet. Eventually, we'd like to have our entire fleet be an electric school bus fleet for the benefits that are associated with that for our scholars and also for our bus drivers who are reporting also a quieter ride, but then just the benefits of being able to breathe cleaner air while on the job. So we look forward to continuing with these efforts and doing our part in coordination with City of Phoenix and their great efforts to be a part of doing everything that we can to clean up our air quality and lift the fog for the benefit of our entire community. Okay, so thank you very much, and at this time I think we will be taking press questions, it looks like. So.
Sure. So as I mentioned in my comments, with the city side, we're hiring an operations analyst, and part of the budget was also a $250,000 study that will be doing an internal assessment of our own fleet. And the goal in the plan is 200 light-duty vehicles by 2030. Simultaneously, we started a little bit of the work earlier before we had adopted the plan back in the fall on our buses. So we will be putting out a request for proposals specifically in regards to bus replacements. So this RFP will be requesting specifically zero emission and low emission buses to see what might be possible. We do need to do testing in the city of Phoenix. We know we have some challenges when it comes to heat and range issues, of course, but it is our goal to get testing so that we can consider these low emission buses as fast as possible. Thank you all again. Appreciate it. Oh, yes. We do have a small demo outside, so if folks want to walk around and see, we have Waymo outside, which, as the mayor discusses, autonomous electric vehicles, and then electric bikes as well are here, and of course, Nicola. Thank you.